pop up.
Hey Dana, it is the top of the month, September.
It
So
is
how
end of
exciting.
summer.
Yes, and we're starting it kids are getting back to school and I rates are headed in the right direction. We've seen some lower, they keep sliding lower, which is a good thing. I think we're hitting a good sweet spot for people to move. What do you think? What was stats like for August, ending in August?
Well, the stats, I can pull those up here. Our stats are just came in, which is always nice. You see my screen?
I can.
All right, so pricing's a little bit all over the board. If you take, a little sub-market around a home and you price for that area and what's sold in the last 4 to 6 months, and you price at market, the house goes really quick. Like I sold the house across the street from us just in just a few days with multiple offers using that pricing strategy, and that seems to be working. But
Awesome.
when people take their emotion and they add into that, this is what I think my house is worth, and they overprice their house, they're just kind of sitting there. And so we're seeing over 50% of the homes are having price adjustments that have been on the market for more than a month. And they're trying to find that sweet spot to get their home sold. Always better to put it at market, whatever market is, and get it sold quickly when you first put it on market, because that's when you have all the eyes on your house.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's causing some neat anomalies in the median sales price. And you'll notice here it's kind of all over the board. We're down 2.2% from a year ago and down 1% from last month on the median sales price. Closed sales are, down from a year ago, and last year was a pretty low number of sales in our area. And then you've got the median days on market, of course, are up 8.5% over a year ago. Some of that's the interest rates, and some of that people are overpricing, and some of it is just the market the way it is right at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're still seeing that most homes are closing near list price. We're seeing some concessions, but not when you have multiple offers. We're not seeing the concessions. So that's kind of depends on how long your house has been on the market, and if you want to get it sold, concessions are there.
So
Uh,
that's kind of like what people need to be mindful as rates continue to fall, that gets eaten up. Those seller concessions get less and less, right? Because then you're going to get into multiple offers.
correct.
So I think even though do I think rates are going to go lower than they are today? Yes. But if somebody gets in now, then they're still being able to get a good price, right? And then still get set concessions probably, and then can refinance again when the rates get even lower. So they can not have to be in a competitive situation, have to maybe pay more for the house down the road when rates are really
And
at their
especially if
lowest.
it's the house they want to live in for a while. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's the perfect time to do it because there isn't as much competition out there. People are, you know, they're struggling with the fact that interest rates are higher and the price of money is a lot higher. So the payment on the new house is substantially higher than what they've been used to for the last 10 years.
Sure, sure. But this
So
is like that sweet spot, it looks like. Good
it's
opportunities to
it's the
get
opportunity
some good.
time for buyers to really get in the
Mhm.
market, and they should come to our home buyers class and let us walk them through what they need to do in our new market. And the price per square foot, you can see on this little graph, it's all over the place.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, look at that line.
and
Up
it's
and down,
and
up and
it's
down.
because of exactly that. People are going, okay, I priced it too high, now I'm trying to adjust it. And so, the overall, and this is only Marion and Polk County. So, if we talked about just your market in your where your house is. We've got to price it for the market where you're looking.
Mhm.
And we still have, it's inventory, new listings are down. They're up from a year ago by 15%. That's a lot. That's a
That
huge
is big.
increase. I mean, if you look at during COVID, we were at 1.2 weeks supply if we were lucky. And
Mhm.
now we're at 2.8 months supply. And it really feels more like a 6 month supply, like a balanced market. The sellers are trying to figure out how to get their home sold in a reasonable amount of time, and inventory is up substantially from where it's been. And people are going, "Hey, why didn't my house sell in a week?" Well, because you priced it way above my number that I gave you that I thought it
Yeah,
would sell
yeah,
at.
yeah.
And
It's
don't know
it's
what to tell
better
you.
it's better to start a little low and multiple offers will bring you up than it is to start high and try to go low.
Well, it's better to look at the market of the
Mhm.
moment, and what do you have to do right now to get your home sold? And are you in the under $450,000 price point, or are you above that? If you're above that, the house is going to sit longer, and you need to know that. So
Yeah, I've seen that a lot in my neighborhood. They're just sitting there and, I see a lot more price drops in that price point.
yes,
I
we're seeing lots of them, and they're
Mhm.
dropping more than one time. So
Mhm.
the 99% of list price is of the last list price. It's not the first list price. So maybe I can run those numbers for next time, but I would suspect that we're probably 10% below the first listed price.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a good time for people to get off the fence and catch the opportunity before. I think we're just right at, when you have a bell curve and we're at the end, at the bottom of that bell curve, right before it starts getting up and getting more competitive. So,
And we have, the builders didn't increase construction this year like we thought was going to happen. So you have, we've been short of inventory for a long time, and we're not starting enough houses to fix that problem. They're building a ton of apartments, but they're not building a lot of houses.
well, that's the scarcity in ground in this area. And then also they're not going to overbuild like they did back in 2010, 2008, 2007 to 2010 because they sat on it and lost their shirts. So anytime there's any kind of a slowing in the market, they're like quick to react. They just stop building.
Well, and they should be. I mean, they
Mhm.
got burned and they figured that out.
Yeah.
And you have the lenders, the banks, the big banks that used to support building the subdivisions aren't doing that. There's no
Yeah.
they're self-funding to build the subdivision. So, they need to be very cognizant of where their money's going.
Yeah, and that's very true. I mean, that kind of dropped out of the market back in 2010 and it really never came back.
No,
Um,
there's nobody
Very
helping
few
them.
banks that I know will do spec financing, um, or, subdivisions, they just have never out over the last 20 years, since that crash have had an appetite for it.
No, and without lack of money, we're going to continue this housing shortage. So,
Mhm.
um, we still, and that's what's holding prices up. It's, normally when sales slow, the prices drop, but they're not dropping, and interest rates are still high. They're not, if you look at the average over the last 60 years, they're fine. They're average. But if you look at what people have been used to paying for the last 10 to 15 years, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, it's interesting times. We'll see how it all plays out.
yeah,
Hey, that's some great stats. Thanks for sharing that with us.
you're welcome.
Well, we'll see what happens over the next week or two.
So now that interest rates have really come down, I mean, their high was in the eights. Now we're down to the sixes. Are you
Yeah.
seeing more people refinance now?
Yep. This is now a good opportunity. many of my customers, well, we're offering a free no cost on lender fees refinances for people, to give them that opportunity to get down to a lower rate. So the refis I'm getting them lined up because we're almost there, but not quite, to make a difference for somebody in their overall budget. So, but there is going to be a flood of refis into the market. So with my clients, I'm just getting everybody prepared, getting disclosures ready so they can getting their documentation so we can just slide in and be out sooner. Because keeping in mind that all of us lenders have gotten to a skeleton crew
Yeah.
in the last, 18 months or so. So to ramp back up to a full capacity, it takes time. And so usually the first wave of refinances feel the pain of not enough staff to support the um, the
The
volume
process.
coming in. So if that's one thing I'm trying to get ahead of that curve, get everybody that wants to refinance, that it would benefit them to do that in line and ready to go. So we lock them and get them on their way. So that's my strategy that I've been working on in the last couple weeks for sure.
Well, and when you have shorter staff, you have to do that because it still takes the same amount of work, whether it's a
Yes.
finance or a refinance.
Yep. Yep. Well, great chatting with you.
It's great chatting with you.
We'll just take another, see what next week holds for us.
Yes.
Good to chat with you. See you soon.
See you soon.